Go, should be working. I'm gonna light my sage.
We are fashionably on time.
You always expect me to be 5-10 minutes late. Time doesn't
Yeah.
exist, brother.
We arrive when we're meant to.
Exactly. That way, I have no pressure on myself ever. Even if I'm like 10 minutes late, I'm like, oh, I'm 10 minutes late. Cool.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. How is everyone?
Good morning. How's it going?
What a fabulous Thursday for me to be on the podcast.
It is Thursday. Perfect. I didn't even think about that.
I did.
No such thing as coincidence.
That's right.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you all slept well.
I think we're still in some Mercury action, aren't we?
Oh, don't even get me started.
Some Mercury Gatorade.
I have been so fed up with Mercury already. Things aren't even breaking here. It's the communication breakdown.
Yeah.
It's more frustrating than anything else.
Yeah.
Carolyn's here. Hi, sweetie. Nice to see you.
Hey, girl.
It's really good to have you with us today, brother. What have you been up to?
Oh, man. Just doing all the life things, all the earth things they say we're supposed to do, you know?
All the adulting things?
Yeah, trying to, you know, just that. And yeah, honestly, just trying to dabble into everything, working on myself, working all my businesses, and yeah, just trying to keep my feet one foot in all the doors, you know.
Jessica says Thursday. Birthday? No, today's Thursday. Thursday. That's what the original meaning of Thursday was.
Yeah, just Thursday.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to think of every day being my birthday because today, at this time last year, it's been a whole nother year for today. So it's like a whole nother birthday today from the same time last year. So every day is cake day.
A very, very unbirthday to you. I'm half awake today, though. I have not been sleeping well the last 3 nights, and I think it's that residual full moon energy.
That full moon gets me every time. It took me a long time to figure out what that was like through my childhood, but like I would sleep really good, and then all of a sudden it's like there was 3 to 5 days that it was just a struggle to sleep. And as I got older, I realized that I could coincide it with the full moon every single time. It was always the full moon. And I actually just learned recently. So I was doing a parasite cleanse for a few months, and I learned that parasites it's better to cleanse like heavier during a full moon
because they're more active.
They're more active because your melatonin drops and your serotonin increases during a full moon. So, like scientific stuff going on, that your melatonin isn't as strong during a full moon, but your serotonin levels go up, which is why it's a little harder to sleep because you have a little more serotonin in the system. And I guess parasites, like, they love serotonin, so they get more active because of the serotonin. So
interesting. We've noticed that beasties get more active during the full moon too, don't they?
Yes, they do.
So they're not the only parasites we see more of.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So why do you think that is? Why do you think the beasties are more active on a full moon?
I think one, because of the energy, like the veil's a little thinner during a full moon. And I think another aspect is that if we have more serotonin, that creates a higher vibration, which is lushier food for them, I suppose. You know, if we are naturally producing more serotonin, we're kind of like a little bit higher vibes. So I would imagine that would probably be a tastier food source.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And people also have breakdowns of communication more during Mercury retrograde. So you're having a double whammy in this instance.
Yeah, you have like a natural high vibration, but then you also have this frustration that kind of like opens doors for entities, so to speak. You know, like if you're frustrated because you're trying to send an email and the email won't go through, and it's like you're high vibe and low vibe at the same time. You know, like your body is physically, like you're physically higher vibration because of the serotonin, and you naturally feel uplifted, but yet you have something that's frustrating you. Like it's kind of like a double-edged sword, and I'm sure that's probably why they're a little more active, you know.
Yeah. Mallory says, for us new followers, can you explain what beasties are? Well, I use the term kind of broad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's our nickname for entities, really, for
Yeah.
different types of entities that we clear with spirit release. And I thought we might go into a little bit about the work that we do this morning, because
Yeah.
there are quite a few new people that are watching the podcast from some of the
Yeah.
posts that have gone up this week. So just as a little recap, I have been doing hypnosis work for about 11 years. I got very much involved in hypnosis work. It was kind of my life for a long time. And then entities I found were getting in the way of hypnosis sessions. Dark entities are beings that exist beyond our usual range of perception. They are beings that exist around us at all times, really. It's just that we aren't able to perceive them through the natural five senses unless you have some psychic gifts. Some people can perceive them easier, but for the most part, you have to be kind of hyper aware of their influence because it can be very subtle. And by getting into this work with entities, I realized I was helping people even more than I was with hypnosis. So I shifted my attention and focus to be doing spirit release work. And for those who aren't aware, there was a gentleman that I stumbled upon. His name was Dr. Terrence Palmer. He passed away a few years ago, but he built a whole system, really, into how to deal with entities. He was a hypnotherapist in the UK who also found out that entities were causing problems, creating psychosis and trauma, and using people's trauma against them, keeping people in trauma loops, keeping people triggered and afraid and disempowered. And so
Yeah.
Dr. Palmer decided to reach out to different mediums and see if they could assist. And they work with soul guides. The soul guides, you know, powerful beings of light, come in through us, through the mediums, I should say, and they connect to the client or whoever that we're checking on. They connect to that person's energy, and they can see what is there that should not be there. If the client has low vibrational energetic attachments, this could be entities, this could be implants, this could be spells or curses. There's a whole number of things that we find floating around in people's etheric fields. And when I first got into the work, I was kind of blown away, and I started promoting it everywhere I could, and I started talking about it a lot. And many of my followers who became friends of mine were also very interested in doing this work. And it was funny, Bradley, you remember the conversation that we had, what is it, a little over a year ago, where we were
almost 2 years ago.
where you were like, I can't wait for, you know, for you to be doing this mediumship so I can come in and be your facilitator.
Yeah, because you were already facilitating.
Yes, I was facilitating.
You were facilitating, and I was getting into it, and like had signed up to do the course and to become a facilitator. And I was like, yeah, this will be awesome. By the time I get all this done and like I start facilitating, then we'll like get to work together, and you'll be doing mediumship by then. And like, yeah. And then here we are, like,
and we completely swapped roles. Bradley is now the medium, and I still love facilitating. It's what I feel like it was what I'm here to do. I feel more like a conductor in a symphony, you know, like calling forward certain guides, asking for certain things. I like calling the shots, so to speak.
I think that you have a very wonderful balance of mediumship and facilitation, and you utilize both of those better than I've ever seen anybody do, in my opinion, because you're always on point. You know what to look for. You know how to step outside of the protocol sometimes to fine tune or kind of tweak and get to the bottom of an issue or a problem. And you're very good at that. And that requires mediumship to do that, you know?
Thank you. I love it. I love being able to ask new questions all the time and to find deeper layers that we can heal for people.
Yeah.
And we still find new stuff all the time. We just added sigils, for example, to our protocol.
Right.
We
I
started
was just
finding sigils on people.
I was just counting through my protocol a couple of days ago, through our protocol that we utilize, and there's like 30, a little over 30 bullet points that we hit.
Yes.
And that doesn't include like when we kind of go off script a little bit to get to the root of a problem more so, you know.
Yes, exactly. And we do that through experimentation ourselves, don't we?
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes we go down little rabbit holes when we're doing clearings. We find certain layers of trauma hidden in the past life resonances or the vows or the disassociations. And those can take us deeper and deeper into aspects of trauma that people are carrying with them that entities are exploiting.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit is I feel that something that's very important is, why do we repeat the same lessons? I mean, like if you look at, let's think big picture here, right? Like, why do we come back? Why are we on this cycle? Why do we repeat these lessons? It's because we're not learning them. It's because we come here to Earth. Sometimes we're stuck. Sometimes we don't come here. Sometimes we get stuck here, right? We know a lot of people that are stuck here.
You and me,
but even
yes, we both got stuck, didn't we?
Regardless of the scenario of why you're here, the ultimate goal of being here is to learn the lessons and grow and move forward. So a lot of times we get stuck here. We get stuck in energetic patterns and loops, you know, because we're not learning the lessons. So it's like wash, rinse, repeat. We come back and we do the same lesson in another scenario in a different avatar, basically. You know, why does the universe keep presenting that? It's because we're supposed to grow. We're supposed to learn that lesson so that we can grow. Our soul growth is what we're trying to get here, you know, not this avatar, not this body, not this lifetime. It's a soul growth. And if we're not learning the lesson for our soul to grow, you come back, you're going to keep doing it.
Yep.
And I think one of the biggest things that we forget, one of the most important things about why do we keep coming back? Why do we get stuck in these energetic loops? Is forgiveness.
Or lack
A
thereof.
lot of it boils down to forgiveness because of the lack thereof. You know, and it's different if you just say I forgive you versus embodying forgiveness. When you truly forgive, forgetting,
when you don't feel that animosity towards that person, you feel indifferent. You're like,
that was a big struggle that I had. I went through this big life lesson in my younger years, and it was this big deal that, like, it was with some family, and I was angry, I was frustrated, and forgiveness was not in the cards for me. And I was presented a Bible for one of my birthdays, and I was like, how dare you? You know, like,
I'd rather have socks.
and this family member opens the Bible up when he hands it to me, and he says, I wanted to share something with you about the Bible. And it was a whole thing about forgiveness. And I was angry. I was like, this is messed up, you know. But you know what? That family member changed my life because it really stuck me on it like propelled me on this path of trying to understand forgiveness. And one of the things that they say is forgive and forget. And I'm always like, how? How do you forget? Like,
free pass.
Yeah, and so I struggled with the forgetting part. Like, I know forgiveness, I know how to forgive, but how the heck do you forget something that was so traumatic and so detrimental that frustrated you and all the things? And what I came up with, and this works for me, maybe not for other people, but what I understood or what I gathered out of the forgetting part is that when you truly forgive, you don't forget the situation. You forget the animosity and the anger and the frustration and the emotions that was involved with the whole thing to begin with. So when you truly forgive and you remember the situation, you remember what happened, you're not angry about it anymore. Those emotions are now love and compassion and understanding and things like that. So as humans, we don't want to forget what happened to us, or we'll allow it to happen again. But the forgetting part is the forgetting of the emotional attachment, the negative part of the emotions that came with the situation. And that changed my life. It really did, because I let go of the concept of the forgetting and just focused on the forgiveness, because that's the important part. And then next thing you know, it's like, when I think about the situation, I'm not angry about it anymore. I don't look at it. I don't look at the person with like ill will or discontent or like any of those negations that come with it. I just see the lesson and I understand it and I have love and compassion for it, you know?
And that way you're not carrying that. It's almost like an energetic IOU.
Yeah,
Like you
it
owe me
is.
something. You owe me some,
Yeah.
better treatment or an apology or,
Yeah.
or recompense for what you did to me. Like people really hold on to that and they'll
Yeah.
carry it with them for life, for many lifetimes.
What we find a lot of times when we're doing clearings is people not forgiving situations for themselves and for their growth and for others is why we repeat these lessons a lot.
Yeah.
It's why we come back, because forgiveness isn't in the cards for them. They hang on to the resentment, they hang on to that frustration and the feeling and everything else, and you're going to come back and repeat the lesson if you can't find forgiveness in your heart. It's not a punishment. It's not that you're being punished. It's that your soul says, I want to learn this. I want to figure this out. So you're going to come back until you do. And that's your choice. You're choosing to come back and repeat that lesson, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
And
One of
so
our wonderful practitioners is on here. Nathalie's here. She says also one of the mind-blowing moments in the session with Bradley was when an earthbound had recently crossed, was called upon again to ask for forgiveness on my and someone else's behalf in a shared past life. Sam, this is Bradley's guide, explained that the soul was blown away and very grateful. The soul, the in-between life space, did not need it because it was in bliss then, but it would have retaken that burden and anger and resentment into their next life without that work of asking for forgiveness. So
yeah,
even if somebody is no longer with us, even if they have crossed over into whatever realm they are going into, you can always express forgiveness and send healing to that person in that regard.
yeah, yeah. Even if they're gone, like, yeah, even if they're gone, like you can still offer forgiveness to a situation, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
And,
And I
and
feel that,
it's so important. It's so important so that you can move forward, so that you can learn and grow, you know?
yes. And I think that we are still carrying things with us that happened even thousands of years ago sometimes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm still working on forgiveness in an aspect of the Orion Wars.
Yeah. We all, I think everybody is. You know, there's a lot of people that's still working on that, because it's like it was something so dark and so negative that our galaxy, our universe had never experienced anything that dark. We were pretty love and light for the most part, you know, with the occasional trauma here and there, but nothing in comparison to that.
Yeah.
I mean, not only was it towards the people, but like planets. You know, Gaia, Mother Terra, she has a consciousness, and her sister was destroyed, Tiamat.
Yes.
Like, so it's not just humans. Like, we're talking about like planetary systems, like on a galactic level here.
Are still
That was
working on forgiveness
that's
and acceptance.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Gaia is still getting soul fragments back and healing herself from what she had to do in order to even
Survive.
to survive through that, you know?
And when it comes to people who are closest to us, like let's say a parent or someone who, that was supposed to love us, was supposed to have a specific role in our lives, and they fumbled it completely. They really screwed up. They instead of being a nurturer, they traumatized people, for example. Like some
Yeah.
people can have a plan and go completely off base with that plan. They can go like way, way off their chosen path. And when that happens, it creates negative ripple effects, and people end up having unhealed trauma that they carry with them for things that they didn't even plan, that they didn't even choose. And that kind of compiles it, doesn't it? When you don't have an active choice in the treatment that you received, a lot of people carry that with them, and they're like, no, they have to fix this. They have to do something to make it up to me. And that in itself creates karmic roles, isn't it? It's like a karmic relationship that people have. And then the same scenario is played out over and over and over again in new lifetimes. And if you don't forgive them, if you don't accept them for the flawed person that they are, you end up repeating it with them. You end up suffering again and again. So the forgiveness isn't for them, it's for ourselves. That's why.
Absolutely. It's something that I'm actually currently working on is a better understanding of unconditional love. And I think that ties into what you're saying beautifully, because sometimes you just have to meet people where they are.
Yep.
And when you start putting conditions on it, it's like, oh, well, you did this to me, and why would you do that to me? And you need to do this to make up for it. Like it's conditions. Those are conditions. And sometimes you just have to accept people for who they are and where they are on their journey. And they're here doing what we're doing. They're doing the same thing that we're doing. And so I'm really working on the mentality or the mindset or the understanding of unconditional love, because it's easy. We're conditioned to put conditions on things. Like we're programmed to put conditions on things and labels on things like right and wrong. At the end of the day, it's not right and wrong is not necessarily a thing. It's something that we've put conditions on and labels on. Ultimately, it's just positive and negative. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's not right or wrong. It's just positive and it's just negative. It's that simple. And
one of the most important lost soul rescues I've done, there was a young Native American woman who was abducted, murdered, dismembered. I mean, it was a horrible, horrible case. And I checked on her to make sure that she wasn't stuck in some horrible death loop, that she was able to cross over. And she was already crossed over. She had crossed over on her own. And that surprised me, for someone to go through something so horrible to be crossed over. I was like, wow, this is a special case, And I asked where this young lady was and what she was doing. And they said she's in a council meeting right now, actually. And I said, oh, that's interesting. So I'm just checking in to make sure she's all right. And they said, yes, she is actually better than all right. She has cleared all of these karmic contracts that she had for like 10 lifetimes. And I said, really, how? And they said she forgave the man that did that to her before she even died.
Yeah.
So she basically was like, I know you're a crazy person. I know that you're not really with it. And I forgive you for what you're about to do. And doing that released her from, it was just basically a statement.
Yeah.
Sure, or a realization that she had.
Yeah.
And upon that realization, they were like, yeah, she's free. All the chains attached to her between this person, because they were in a bit of a tit for tat thing. He would kill her, she would kill him, he would kill her.
Back and forth, yeah.
A lot, right? We see this all the time.
All the time.
And because instead of acting like, oh, he still owes me, or, oh, he's, like, I'm going to get him next time for what he just did to me, she just like, I'm sorry you're so hurt. I'm sorry that this is how you feel you need to lash out, and I forgive you.
Yeah.
And expressing that, she changed everything.
That's it. That's the game changer. That's the mic drop, like that,
Blew my mind.
And that to me is like,
it didn't release him from it, for the record. It released her from the karmic bond with him. So he's still learning the lesson. He's still got to go through the consequences of what he's done. But she is released from that now.
Yes. And to me, like, when I really think big picture, like this is huge for me. This is huge because how many people have been stuck here? You and I, for example, 12,600 plus years. Because why? We keep repeating the same lessons. We keep repeating the same patterns, energetic loops. We're trying to fight lizards. We're fighting the battle. And we're in this time now that our galactic brothers and sisters are coming back saying they found us. We're in this time of growth and expansion. Gaia is raising her vibration and consciousness. we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And we're finally at this point where we're like, we have got to make a change. Something needs to happen. We need to learn these lessons. We need to release ourselves from these karmic cycles and these energetic loops that we're stuck in. And this is important of, why do we keep repeating the same lessons? And I think a lot of it boils down to forgiveness, like you're saying with this story, where when you finally step into this idea and concept of unconditional love and forgiveness and what that means, you can release yourself from all of this and really take a huge step forward into going home, back to your home world, your home planet, wherever you're from.
Because you can't
Who
take
wants
it.
to come back? Who wants to come back? I'm done. I don't want to come back. I'm sorry,
Not
but
as a human anyway. I'll come
you
back
know,
as something else, but I'm not coming
yeah,
back to a human body again. I'm
yeah.
tired. I'm dying every 80 years.
Let's
It's
have some
every day.
disclosure. Like, let's let disclosure happen on Earth so that we can come back as like who we're meant to be. Like, I'll come back as an Ingan Viking. You know, like I'm good with that.
We did have somebody asking, what is an Engan Vikings? You want to explain a little bit about who the Engan are?
So I know that in folklore they talk about, you know, Thor, Odin, Loki, like all the Vikings, but those were Ingans. Those are Ingan Vikings that came down here. They are from the Pleiades star system. They have three bigger planets, three stars that they live on, three different ones, and they are grid keepers. Through my research and through learning about Ingans, they actually came here to help Gaia after the Orion Wars because Gaia was just in such turmoil and ley lines were messed up, her chakra systems are messed up, and the Ingans actually came here to like the runes that we see, like runic symbols and all that stuff. They actually came here to be grid workers, to withhold the grid, to make these ley line points reactivate, to get Gaia's energy flowing again, is the one of the main reasons why they came here to Earth.
Yes.
And while doing that, they started being glorified, right? Because any ET that comes down here to help in any way, shape, or form, they get turned into gods because they're doing
They have
things that,
technology and a more
yeah, yeah,
impressive physique.
yes, exactly. Ingans are known to be big, massive, burly beards and intricate hair, and you know,
They
and
got
and
to
the
a
way
point
they
where
dress.
you don't even get people with facial hair in some
That's
cases.
right. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
big
Yeah,
burly men. Yes, they
yeah.
stood out a little bit.
And so over time, um, they really started getting misconstrued into why they were here. All the raids and the
That happened
drinking and
much,
like
much
all
longer
that stuff
later.
was way later. And those were like the people that got turned into the Vikings that we know of. You know, Leif Erikson and all the
Ragnar.
human Ragnar Lothbrok,
Rolo.
like, yeah, Rollo. So all of the human Vikings that we know of was way after when Ingans came and created the concept of Vikings and what they stood for. And so they just got kind of misconstrued over time
Deified.
into, yeah, exactly.
So these beings, they are originally in the Pleiades, and we have found out through our Akashic Records work that they were hit before Earth was in regards to
Yeah.
the Orion Wars, and there were many refugees that fled your planet, and that is how you and I met. Actually, is
Yeah.
your town got hit, and we came in looking for survivors, and we found Bradley trapped under some rubble,
Yeah.
and you needed quite a lot of healing after that, but you were still young. You were only about
Young
14 years old when
teenager.
we found you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you joined Adriana and I, and we became kind of like this Three Musketeers thing where we were traveling around in space trying to help
Yeah.
refugees and trying to find survivors. We'd come in after a bad reptilian attack and we would try and find people who were hiding or injured. And we would we traveled around for about 50 years or something like that, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. It was a
And
long
then we
time
both
that we
died on
traveled
Cuba.
around and helped. Yeah. Yep.
So we died we were one of the first ones to die during the whole Tiamat disaster. We were there at the artificial base that was set as a trap, basically.
We were lured there, yeah.
We were lured there thinking that there was a bunch of reptilians, and there were, but it was a trap for us. And then they brought in a whole lot of reinforcements, and that's when the big battles started getting bigger, and that is when all of this chaos started happening, and then we got stuck. This is how a lot of veterans on Earth got here, is that we died in close proximity to Earth, and we came to Earth, and we've been here for the last 12,600 years, incarnating over and over again as human, because that's the only option that we had available to us. So to explain what a veteran is, because we have new starseeds coming in. New starseeds are souls that have answered the call. Gaia put out a call for help, to raise the frequency of Earth and to get rid of all the riffraff that's happening here. So all of these new souls started coming, and we've been seeing a lot of these young people who are new souls. This is one of their first incarnations here on Earth. But the veterans are different. The veterans are starseeds that have been here since, many of them even before Atlantis went down in the flood.
Yeah.
So we weren't even really supposed to be here. We kind of got pulled in through all the low vibrational drama that was occurring, like thousands of other people did. But that creates almost like an abandonment trauma, doesn't it? It's like we got stuck.
So if you guys remember when Kat was on, she was talking about the destruction of Tiamat, right? And what happened is Gaia expanded herself and pulled her sister back into her. So cue flooding, right? This is the great flood that we know on Earth of Noah and everything else. So she pulled all aspects of Tiamat back into herself. The water, the parts of the land, bits and pieces of Tiamat that got exploded. So we were part of that. Our souls were part of that. So all the souls that died on Tiamat, they got pulled in as well, because Gaia pulled us all in and anchored us in.
Yeah.
We were just a kind of like a byproduct of what Gaia was trying to save from her sister, and we ended up getting stuck here with her as well. And so now it's like, I look at this as like a thank you for doing that for us. Thank you for saving us and your sister and everything. Like, what can I do for you now? And I really carry that. When I walk around, I see trash laying around, I want to pick it up. When I see something that needs healed, I want to go heal it. I want to help Gaia because she helped us,
Yes.
Where would we have been? What would have happened to us had she not pulled us in?
We've been floating around. I don't know. Maybe we'd be Martians right now.
Yeah.
Who knows? Because Mars was also nearly destroyed. Mars lost its atmosphere.
Right.
So there's a lot of other planets that were damaged and affected by this. And it created ripple effects that stretch far, even to the Pleiades.
Yeah.
So many of us have been trying to get home ever since. I am originally from a planet called Era in the star system Taygeta in the Pleiades. So Bradley and I were kind of like long lost cousins in that regard, because that's how I look at all Pleiadians. All Pleiadians are kind of related, aren't they, in some capacity?
Well, they actually, what we've learned is like Irma, Taygetans, and Ingans will actually like, you
Jump
might be
around
an
and
Irma. Yeah, they
incarnate as
jump
you want.
around. Yeah, like you'll be an Irma for a handful of lifetimes, and you're like, I'm ready to be Taygetan again. So then you go, what's her name? That's the princess of the queen
Marie.
now of Marie Swaru. She is actually Irma, that is Taygetan currently. Like her soul lineage is Irma.
We switch. Yes,
We switch around all the time. Yeah, my wife is the same. She's Ingan, and her and my two kids actually came here to kick me in the butt and make sure I go home after this lifetime. And she prefers to be Taygetan though. Even though she's Ingan.
I love
see, yeah, see, yeah.
And I can recognize my people. I can spot somebody and look and be like, "That's another Taygetan," and I'm right.
Yeah, you feel it. Yeah, it's more of it's a knowing and a feeling, because you can tell. You can just tell. Yeah,
you can tell an Engan Viking too, just looking at them. Bradley gives it up too, but you also see a lot of men like, with braided hair and beards, and you're like, you may have a British accent, or you may have a American accent, but you are Viking through and through. And
that's right.
it's like a personality that gets imprinted on your soul.
Yeah, for sure.
And
How long do you remember that clearing you did for me when you first jumped into doing clearings and stuff, and you sent it to me, and it was like one of my 3 questions. I'll remember this
he
till the
said,
day I
"Who is
die.
my soul guide?"
Yeah,
And
who is
keep in
my
mind
soul
that I
guide?
did not know Bradley personally at all. He was somebody that just kind of hung out on the page, and he booked the clearing. So I've never seen you. I had no idea about your interests, anything like this.
Nothing.
And Bradley says in his report, who is my soul guide?
Who is
So
my
I
main
asked
soul guide? Yeah.
one of our mediums at the time, and I said, any idea where his soul is from? Or no, so where his soul guides are, or who his soul guides are. And she says, I don't know. They're just showing me Thor. I don't know what to tell you. That's all I see is Thor, like Thor with the hammer and everything. And I was like, Thor is the soul guy? And she was like, I don't know. Just put it in the report. I was like, okay, fine. So I put it in the report. I just said Thor. The Viking Thor is what she told me to put in the report. And Bradley, when you read it, you said you were so shocked you threw your phone across.
I did. I was like, no fucking way. And I like threw my phone out of excitement. And then I started sending Lara picture after picture of me. I have been Thor for
him dressed as Thor.
Halloween. Like they make this hammer that is actually like a toolkit. Like I've got a couple of those in my garage. Like my son, when he was little bitty, he would see like a poster or something of Thor and say dad. He called Thor dad. Like he called me or called he literally thought that was me.
And I love how your hair was long in some of them. Like you straight up looked like
I did. I grew my hair out for a couple years at one point in my life. Yeah.
He looked like a great Thor.
Yeah.
So, and it's funny too, because if you remember that first retreat we went to together later on.
Yes.
You were still doubting it, weren't you?
Because I'm like, why? Like, why me? Like, come on. Yeah. Out of all the people.
Muscle testing. And we were like, just ask yourself a question and your body will respond. You'll either go forward or backward, depending on the yes or the no. And the yes was to go backwards, if you remember. And I think it was anyway. But anyway.
No, for me, it was forwards. Yes is forwards for me, and no is backwards. Like I'm going to fall down.
All I remember is that you nearly fell on your ass there.
He pushed me very far forward. Yeah, because I did like a couple, test questions like this and that, and I just get a yes or I'd get a no or whatever. And when you were because we were just playing with that, and you were like, "Well, ask if he's your spirit guy. Ask about Thor." And I was like, "Oh, good idea." So I asked, and I barely got the question out in my mind, and I almost fell on my face. It was the craziest feeling.
Yeah. So that was a strong validation for you. And then you got into mediumship. You started practicing your mediumship through different practice sessions or from, Bradley did everything right. Because if the guides were like, here, if you do this, this, and this, your gifts will come online. He's like, all right, this, done. What else you got?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, how about a dunk tank and the freezing ice cold dunk tank? And you're like, all right, done. And you got that too.
Just did my cold plunge this morning.
So whenever the guides make a suggestion, you can strengthen your gifts by doing this, and Bradley's like, all right, done.
Yeah.
And you have really accelerated through that, haven't you?
I have, because I'm like the type where when I want to learn something, I'm all in. Like I dive in to figure it out, and I want to learn it. And I love knowledge. I love wisdom. I love learning, and I love sharing that. I found out I did have Akashic records with our beloved Adriana at one point, and I learned that I was actually, before I was Ingan, and this is a very, very long time ago, I was actually Alpha Centauri, and I was a very well-renowned teacher. Like basically the guides were like, take Einstein and multiply that by like hundreds. And that's the kind of teacher that you were. Like you taught things that was beyond the scope of our even understanding. And I did that for a long, long time. I was a teacher. And that really like hit home for me, because I am that now. Like I know my strengths. Like it's not arrogant to say what I'm good at, right? It's confidence. Yeah. And I know that when it comes to teaching, I have always had this uncanny ability to put things in a way where people can understand it. And if I see a puzzled look on your face, I'm like, okay, think of it like this then. And then I can give like another analogy. And I've always been really good at that.
Yes.
And when I learned that about my past, I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And so that's something that Sam has been helping me step into, is that role of like becoming a teacher and like kind of accepting that about myself. And I'm really loving it. I'm really liking
Yeah.
teaching and sharing and stuff, you know.
So just to go a little bit into who Sam is.
Sam is one of the best beings known to man, in my humble opinion. I have Viking guides, obviously. I have 3 large Viking guides. One of them is Harthonos. He's my main companion guide.
You knew him from past lives.
I did. I knew Harthonos from past lives, and he's discarnate, and he's here
And he's
helping
not
me. He's been
physically incarnated somewhere else right now.
correct. Yes.
But he's still a soul guide. Yeah.
And I had been working on a lot, you know, with mediumship and everything else and trying to figure a bunch of stuff out. I had started learning trance. I wanted to get into trance mediumship, and I was trancing with Sam and everything. And then it was actually, I was just doing some practice, just getting practice in, hanging out with you and Adriana, doing some clearings and stuff. And stuff was like getting messed up. Like the information I was receiving was weird and things like that. And next thing I know, like I'm asking Zach, I'm like, Zach is Adriana's Solation Pleiadian soul guide, for those that don't know. And I'm asking Zach, I'm like, something feels off, you know? And he's like, well, feel into this. And so we kind of had this like little learning session. And at the end of it, at the end of the session, we were done, and it was just the 3 of us hanging out. And Zach says, um, I want you to tell me what you feel around you right now. So I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking, I'm feeling, and I felt a presence behind me. I said, I can feel someone behind me that's different from my Viking guide. It's a different presence, a different energy. And he says, I want to introduce to you Sam. And the moment Zach said that, it was like Sam gave me a hug that I've never had before in my life. He, it
I
was like
remember your reaction to it. You're a bit like, oh.
it was like electricity. It was like goosebumps, but like magnify that. Like, and it was all down my whole backside was like that. Not the front, not my arms, nothing. Just my backside. And it was like he hugged me from the back, you know? And the moment this happened, Sam put a visual image in my mind's eye of him. I seen him like clear as day. Like I'm looking at you. And it was just this beautiful being of long, like white looking, kind of golden white looking hair, and a blue, like wearing this blue robe with like silver inlays all over it. And I'm just like, what? So I'm looking at Zach, and I'm like, is he wearing blue? And he's like, yes, he showed you himself, didn't he? And I seen him. I was like, oh my gosh. So I got like, that's the one time that I've truly like really seen him. And because I don't like, now that I don't need to see him anymore. Like I know what he looks like, right? And so Sam has been with me. Zach said that Sam came to help me. Now come to find out, like we've made this agreement long before this lifetime, like this physical lifetime. Like we all had this agreement. Me, you, most of you people on this podcast, like we all made this agreement to come here and do this, and to do this work and to stand in all of this. And so Sam came to help me. He's helped me in a tremendous way of finding myself, loving myself, helping me with trance. He's helped me in ways that are beyond my understanding, even that his patience, his love, his kindness is just, it's outstanding. It is beyond our understanding of what love is, in all honesty. Like there's no words for it to express who Sam is and what he stands behind as a
We
being.
found out we met Sam in the in between, didn't we? We found out
Yeah.
we met Sam and Zach and many of these other guides when we were in between lifetimes planning
Right.
to be Lara and Bradley. And this was all part of our plan to meet and do this work together and to really help each other go home.
Yeah.
Because that's the end goal, right? Is that you and I get to go back home. You get to go where your family has been looking for you. Even other guides of yours have been looking for you for a long time. Nobody knew what happened to us when we died in Tiamat.
Right.
So, I mean, there were thousands of years that we were missed, and they thought, I wonder what happened to Hathor and all the others that perished in that battle.
Well, if you think about it, you know, like if you think about it, like I was just this lost little 14-year-old teenager that you and John, which is Adriana, who she was as Salation back then, when you guys found me, like, you know, I went with you where everyone else had died, and you know,
there was nothing left for you there.
There's nothing left of them. So while they're working on like
incarnating on the same planet, your family was still there on that
planet.
They may have
as they're reincarnating and going through their cycle to come back because they all died.
But you disappeared from that.
I disappeared. And then really disappeared by getting stuck on Earth. So no one's known where I've been for all this time. And that's why John or Adriana was trying to develop the technology to find our souls, to figure out like where'd we go? Where are we? Like, and so it took her or John a couple lifetimes of that.
And they're not short lifetimes. They live 5,000 years.
Exactly.
So to put that into perspective, it took several thousand years for Adriana to find us. And and when he did, you know, he just thought, well, I'm going to go get my friends. And the other Stellations thought, you're crazy. What are you talking about? They said, oh, I'm going to Earth. I'm going to go get my friends out of there. And the Stellations are like, well, you know, like, you really serious about this? Yes, we are. So the Stellations were the ones, and keep in mind that the Stellations are kind of like the introverts of the Pleiades. They didn't really talk to anybody. They didn't associate with any other races except for the Nordics.
Right.
They didn't really have any affiliation with any of these other races. So to have a Stellation running around with a Tegetten and an Engan, we were kind of like misfits, you know, just traveling around stirring up shit or trying to help people.
Yeah.
And we ended up becoming quite famous because of this. We were well known for this. Kind of like we had our own little SG-1 team.
The Milky Way's most wanted.
Yeah, we were. So when we got stuck here on Earth, you know, and our loved ones from other, you know, galaxy, whatever you want to call it, other areas, were a bit like, where did everybody go? So when they developed this technology to find us, the Stellations gave it to many other races who are also looking for their people. So we've had an influx of new starseeds being born on Earth because they're trying to help their loved ones who have been stuck here. My son was the same child I had on Era. My son was killed by reptilians right in front of me. They ate my son and my wife right in front of me. And it was extremely traumatic, but I got away. And that's how John found me wounded. And then they find out that I'm here on Earth, and they say, well, I'm going in. And so Aiden, he was my son 12,700 years ago, give or take. And now he's back, and he's here to help me kind of, and he did. I mean, I had very little, I had a death wish. I did. I had very little respect for myself. And I would have laid my life on the line for a rhino or anything back in the day. Like, I had very little care or concern for myself. So my son comes, you know, to help anchor me here, to make me really kind of grow up in that regard. And then finding out that he's here only temporarily. This is his only major life here. When he dies, he's going to wake up back home.
Yeah.
They're not stuck in the reincarnation cycle like we are here. When they wake up, when they die, they wake up in their other body because they're in a pod. And there are millions of other starseeds that are doing the same thing. So you have
my daughter,
new starseeds, like both of us have starseed children who are in pod.
Yeah.
And it's a comfort, isn't it, to know that they're not going to be stuck here like we were.
It is.
But it's also a comfort knowing that we get to go home with them.
But it's also a struggle watching them struggle on Earth because my daughter does not understand Earth and people, and she is her own little unique person, you know.
Yes. So it's kind of interesting how we have this mission of getting to remember who we are, and that's been pretty well. I mean, in the last year and a half, you and I have learned a lot about ourselves and our soul history. I'm sure there's a
Yeah.
lot more to uncover.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's like it's kind of like having amnesia, but then somebody comes and brings you the autobiography you wrote about yourself.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you start remembering things. You may not remember everything, but you remember all of these important parts about who you are, and it gives you the context to explain why you are the way you are. Like, I've been fighting reptilians my whole life, and then I find out I've been fighting them for 12,600 years.
Do you remember a handful of Sundays ago when we got to the part, like, because you're writing your book about the Orion Wars, and we got to this section about more of like our lives and how the three of us kind of got together and how that worked. And I had this crazy revelation. Like, I only knew that, my planet was really messed up and everyone was lost, and that Lara and Adriana found me. That's really all I knew about it. I never really dove into more about the aspect of like how it happened and what happened to me and the details. And we got to the part about how I had ran from the town. Like, I was just running to get away, and I was climbing up this mountain, or like this big hillside basically, and I got basically covered in rubble. Like, I was completely covered in
You
rocks,
had
but I was still
internal
alive.
bleeding, actually. You
I
would have
had
died if it left
I
you there.
was laying there dying basically. And I'm saying all this because there's a full circle moment that I want to a point that I want to make here in just a second. But something that coincided with my current life is, as a young child, anytime I had an uncle that would hold me down and tickle me until I just get rage out mad. And I never understood why I would get so angry. But like I'm not claustrophobic. Like, I can go in, I love cave diving and things like that, and I can go into tight spaces. But when I get to a point where I can't move,
Yeah.
I lose it. I absolutely lose it. And I never understood that about myself until Adriana was explaining that I was stuck under all this rock and rubble, and you guys had to dig me out because I couldn't move. And it was like full circle moment that
Very
hit
that
me. And I was like,
psychological
oh my
trauma.
gosh. Now, here's the funny one that this just happened earlier when we were talking, that this revelation I just had when we were talking earlier. I was 14. That's what Adriana said. I was 14 years old when that happened, on as an Ingan, right? When you guys found me, I was 14. Guess how old I was in this lifetime when I died from a dirt bike wreck and was bleeding internally?
Holy shit.
I was 14.
Wow, Bradley.
That dirt bike wreck that I've
So
told you
you kind
about.
of got like a mini dose of that trauma that you went through.
And that's what I wanted to talk. That was another point that I wanted to make, is
Wow.
some of these cycles that we repeat, when you really start digging into your past and you start thinking about like the repetition of cycles and things that we have, you really start uncovering and seeing how some of the stuff is that intricate, that was almost 13,000 years ago at 14, that I was bleeding internally and died and almost died and everything, and you guys saved me. And in this life at 14, I had something very similar happen to me, only I did die and come back. But that was the turning point that changed my entire life in this lifetime. I looked at life completely different after that, you know?
I actually had pangs of guilt after I heard the story about how we met and everything, and then finding out that you basically got lost for thousands of
Yeah.
years, and all your loved ones were looking for you, and they're like, "What happened to Arthur?" You know. And
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm sorry, I stole him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to help." And then
Yeah.
we weren't expecting to get stuck and all that shit to go down. So I mean,
But like
I
when we
apologize
talk
to him. I'm
about,
like, "I'm sorry, Bradley, that I
yeah.
got you stuck here on Earth for so long."
But when we talk about like all the, that 50 some odd years of what we were doing, it brings me joy. So I know that I enjoyed every moment of helping people and saving people, and being the little brother of the trio
This is
of the
why
Three
people come to us and they're
Musketeers.
like, "I feel like I know you from somewhere." And then I
Yeah.
ask the guides, I'm like, "How do they know me?" They're like, "They knew you from the Orion Wars. So you were traveling around causing all kinds of shit."
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Because we were basically like rebels in Star Wars, like
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
going around doing rebel things, and
For
we were
sure.
quite famous because of it. We created a lot of problems for the reptilians too, didn't we?
Yeah.
I still wear
Absolutely.
that badge of honor proudly.
Yeah.
And we still are to this day. If you think about it, we're still helping people. We haven't changed in 12,000 years.
Yeah. I think a lot of the things, like, I think ultimately what we need to do is start remembering, because we come into this life on earth every lifetime. It's like we have amnesia. And when you can start putting these puzzle pieces back together, it's like what if the power you've been searching for has always been inside of you? You just need to remember it.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest thing, is that we don't remember the power that we truly have within us. We don't remember that. It's like we have to find it. We have to search for it and find it. But what if you just start to remember it by looking back at like all the puzzle pieces that fit? And it's like, what if we just need to remember that,
Beautifully said.
Like think of it like this, like if you could remove everything that's not yours, like if you could remove every fear, like limiting belief, all the energy that's not ours. Like if you could remove all of this stuff that's not truly yours, who would you be? You're a light being that's connected to source, that is part of source, that is from another galaxy. And when you can start thinking of it like that, to just let all of this go, all of the things that you don't really identify with, like who are you actually, you know?
Someone just said, but you're not remembering things on yourself. Someone else is telling you all of this information. Adriana is reading the Akashic records. Can that not be risky? I wouldn't say it's risky. To take information from somebody else, you are welcome to take what resonates and leave the rest. Some people resonate with what they're being told. When I'm hearing about a lifetime and somebody's telling me about it, I get flashbacks.
That's what I was about to say.
I've had people tell me past lives. Like one person was like, oh, you were involved in this and this. And I didn't resonate with that one bit. I felt I didn't see myself in that role that this one person told me I had.
Correct.
And then later on, I go back and I say, was that real? Did somebody told me that I had a past life is blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, that's not real.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that makes sense because I didn't resonate with it. I didn't see myself as that person. I didn't believe that. And then later on, I find out about other versions of myself and I see it. I mean, when Adriana was telling me things about my past lives, I start having visual flashbacks of seeing it. My whole body gets goosebumps. Like I know, I can feel when it's real and when it's not.
And I think like, okay, so let's talk about like, let's just highlight the concept of remembering, right? Like, let's say there's something you can't think of. What do? You start thinking of all the things that will help you remember this, right? So the fact that we were told like a piece of our story was the igniter, right? So for me, like all the blanks start getting filled in because I know what I feel and I know when I hear truth. And when something doesn't resonate, I know to like just kind of be like, yeah, that's not, I don't really feel that. It just doesn't feel right. So when I hear a piece of my past or my history or something, the rest of it is the remembering part where now the story starts unraveling. I get feelings, I get memories, I get thoughts. And it's like I can put myself, it's like, exactly. Yeah. So for me, that's the remembering part, is like when you start searching for what's inside of you and that power and everything, like all you have left to do is remember it. And so you just start putting all those puzzle pieces together, and then the memories start walking behind it and start adding up and filling in the blanks.
But if you don't like Akashic record sessions, you can always go for hypnosis and then go under hypnosis. But even then, it can be compromised by entities because entities will put false memories in your head with a hypnosis.
That's right.
Session. So it doesn't mean, you know what I mean? Like there's always some kind of deception or, confusion. Even the ego can put confusion in there. This is one of the reasons why we doubt ourselves when we're having a hypnosis session. If you're awake and yet still slightly under hypnosis, you can start having visuals of your past life without even
Yeah.
realizing that's what you're seeing. We gaslight ourselves constantly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Honestly,
just take what resonates and leave the rest. That's what I
I
always say. That's
think,
how discernment works.
I think ultimately, like, one of like the another big picture here is like we've been programmed to not believe that we are what we are. Like we've
Mhm.
been programmed to think that we are less than. And sometimes like the path forward, it's not about becoming something new. It's about clearing away everything that made you forget of who you really are. It's not about like searching for something new. It's about letting go of everything that you don't, that's not you, and that you've been kind of programmed to kind of believe that you're less than what you are. And it's just about stepping back into who you truly are, you know?
Yeah. And I think we're becoming more of who we truly are every day that we embrace ourselves, that we, honor
Yes.
ourselves and to work on our shadow work and to heal our trauma
Yeah.
and all of those things. It's all the layers of things that we have kind of wrapped ourselves in to
Yeah.
obstruct our true selves, to kind
Yeah.
of especially people dealing with witch wounds and other forms of that kind of similar trauma where
Yes.
you couldn't be yourself without being persecuted.
Yeah. Yeah. And that kind of this is kind of leading me into like a final point that I want to make is like, so we're talking about all these things like, okay, so what can be done to allow us to remember who we are? Like, what can we do? What's the positive here? What can we do to move forward to step into that? Like for me, it's daily practices. Like, what can I do every day that allows me to remember who I am, that allows me to step away and shed the negative that's not truly me, and step into who I truly am, and how can I maintain that? So for me, like one of the things that I do right when I wake up and multiple times throughout the day is ground.
Yes.
Grounding is one of the most important things for me in my life, because when I'm not grounded, I'm not connected. And if I'm not connected, what am I? I'm programmed, is how I feel.
Interesting.
If I'm not grounded and connected to my higher self, to source, to Gaia, then I'm just being programmed and led. And I'm just going through life doing it, go to work, punch the time clock, make money, pay bills. Like, so when I'm grounded and connected, that allows the energy to flow. It allows me to be who I feel like I'm meant to be. So for me, like, how can we maintain like what we're talking about? How can we do this? So grounding and connecting daily. One of my favorites that's also Sam's is I am. The power of I am, stating what you are every single day. Every single day. That's one of the things I do when I'm cold plunging. When I am in an environment that's uncomfortable and it's freezing cold and I just want to sit there and shiver and think, fuck, 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 fuck. I
Mhm.
am finding grace in that. And I'm finding a way to embody what I am and what I want to see myself as being. And so I do I ams while I'm in there. And that has given me this really chill, pun intended, chill, calm feeling of what I'm trying to embody within myself. And so, that can be done in any circumstance. Maybe you're in a meeting and the meeting, like you got to talk and you're nervous. Start saying I ams. It allows you to focus, it allows you to ground, it allows you to connect. So things like that you can do every single day.
Yes.
Um,
Sherry,
Another
you had a
one,
question real quick. Does
yeah,
grounding
go
feel
ahead.
heavy or is it supposed to be light?
It depends. For me, it feels
Steady. I just
heavy.
feel
I
steady.
feel yeah, I won't say that it feels like a weight on my shoulders. It doesn't feel like I'm walking around like I'm carrying something, but if I'm not grounded, I start feeling kind of bobbly headed and almost like a vertigo feeling. I kind of feel dizzy to a degree.
Feel anchored in your body. You know, you bump
Yes.
into stuff, you drop things, you're a bit more
Yes.
clumsy than usual.
Yeah. So when I'm grounded,
Our
I
friend
feel.
Moon Boots, because remember what was Moon Boots was doing?
Yeah.
Went to a retreat, and one of our friends, she kept dropping stuff and burning herself, and we're like,
Yeah.
grounded. And what did we do? We found anti-grounding plates underneath her. She couldn't ground herself.
Yes.
And she was wearing like these moon boot things that would keep her from grounding. And then we started joking around, you know, calling her moon boots because she couldn't ground herself. And we figured out why. It was because they had these astral boots on her. And for those who don't understand how this works, this is one of the aspects of the clearing work that we do. When we find somebody, like let's say a client gives us their name, their date of birth, their location, and we can tune into that person's specific energy signature with that information. And then we find a whole bunch of crap on them that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
We find implants on everybody. I mean, everybody has implants, whether they were put there by entities or you pick them up out in public somewhere. But these are astral devices and implants and technology that we can't physically see on our person, but it's still there and it's affecting us. It may be affecting your multidimensional self, but that still causes, problems in the physical self.
Yeah.
So we remove all our guides, remove all that crap, don't they?
Yeah.
Anything that should not be there. And we find spells float, like we'll find like symbols floating around in people's etheric field. That's how we know there's a spell or a curse.
Lowering vibrations and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. We find triggered past life resonances where a past version of you is connected through cords to the current version of you.
Yeah.
We find entities attached. And what I mean by attached is, they're attached through cords. They're attached through what we call spirit possession. Yeah. And when they're attached to you, they're influencing you. You're not sovereign, as we call it. A sovereign individual is somebody who is not being influenced by an outside energy, who is not being manipulated by some kind of force that is connected to that person.
Yeah.
So how many people would you say, percentage-wise, how many humans are actually sovereign walking around?
Oh my gosh.
Probably like what, 30% or less?
Less. I'm going to say less. Something that I have to remind myself of though here is that the clearings that we do is because people come to us because they know that they have a problem. So a lot of the clearings that we do, I would say maybe I bet it's less than 5% that are actually sovereign.
Really?
In my opinion, because the clearings that we do. So I have to remind myself of that.
Even
of like,
thought forms can take sovereignty. Your own self-created thought forms can take away your sovereignty, which blew my mind. Learning that, I was like, really? I can create a thought form that's going to get in the way of my own sovereignty, my own free will? And they say, yeah, you can relinquish free will to a thought form that you created yourself.
So if you think about it, right? So like a thought form means that it's something that's in the field. Like I see it as like a cloud of it's like a cloud that looks like it's going in a circle is what the guides show it to me as. And this cloud, when I connect and I'm looking at thought forms, this cloud is like a perpetual cloud of just creating that same type of thought or feeling to someone.
Like a broken record playing in your ear all the time.
Yes. So if it's say like a thought form of guilt, right? Everything that you do, you already have this in your field, this circling energy of guilt that's going to make you feel guilty about something that you did. That's sovereignty. Mm-hmm. that you have created. Sometimes it can be entity induced and created by an entity. But if you have like a natural guilty feeling of doing things like, say you did something for a friend and it's like, oh, you have this guilt feeling because you should have done it differently or better or whatever. And you get stuck in your head about it. Well, you start creating a thought form.
That's like an imaginary bully.
It is. So the next time you do something, that thought form is already circling around saying, oh, you should feel guilty. You should feel guilty. That's a loss of sovereignty.
There's a because it's affecting Out, you. I believe it is for children.
Yes,
it's really good.
I love that one.
Into thought forms. Inside Out is a great movie if you want to understand how thought forms can take over your mind. It's a great analogy for it.
Yeah.
So since we have 240 people hanging out with us today, would it be all right? And also, I see our brother Brett is here. What are you
I
doing?
did just see, hey, Brett,
What are you
my
doing up
man.
at this hour? It's good to see you, Brett.
Yeah.
Perhaps we
Love
could
that.
do a clearing for everybody today and get rid of some of the junk off of our friends
Absolutely.
today. Yeah?
Absolutely.
You got
Yeah.
Sam with you now?
He's always with me. He's been with me this whole
Sam.
podcast. Yep. So Sam, just the team we've got with us is Sam. We've got the Vikings. So I have a Griffin guide named Bart, and then we have a dragon guide named Sokol. So yeah, just put it in the comments or the chat.
The Griffins are also from Viking lore, from Greek mythology, from a whole bunch of different cultures. And then we find out the Griffins are real. They're high vibrational beings, and they can come in to help us with our clearings.
They are very, very good at clearing. From what I've learned through Bart, they are a mixture of blue avian and Irma.
Yes.
And so I was just kind of getting to know Bart, and he showed me that what they do is they utilize sound energy, and they can match any sound or vibration of any frequency. And so when Bart came to be a part of the team, like it created this whole new aspect of doing clearings, because like implants, dark patch energy, parasites, like all of that, he just sends sound through the body, and I just watch it all dissipate like very quickly in comparison to like having to intricately move stuff out and whatnot. And then on top of that, once he's done with the removal, he does sound for healing, like sound healing. And so the Griffins are just a wonderful asset to have on the team for helping with everything.
Yes, and we also have a lot of dragons around, thanks to the Salations. Yeah. The Salations like to bring in their white dragons.
Yeah.
I know how this sounds. Like, if you had told me 3 years ago that I would be saving lives with the help of dragons, and I would have thought, okay, she needs to be locked up. I would have immediately thought that I was crazy.
Yeah.
Talking about these things. But then, I've been through it's just unbelievable, the validation that we receive on a daily basis.
Yeah. It really is. Like, there's so many things that it's just like, you just can't make this stuff up, like I have an imagination, but not like that. Like, you can't put these puzzle pieces together. And the fact that like that as a medium, when I'm doing a clearing, I only like getting a name, a birthday, and a location, because that's what we need in order to connect with the person receiving the clearing. So I get that, and then what Sam starts showing me, and then sometimes at the end or something, whoever I'm doing clearings with, like say Lara, she'll read me like what the person said is going on with them, and it coincides with what the team showed me, and it's like, well, I didn't know any of that. I had a name, birthday, and location,
Yep.
And so you can't make that up. Like, where'd that information come from? Like it came from the team. It came from the astral.
Yeah. And now we're changing lives on a daily basis. We have people that come to us like soldiers. Like Brett is also an ex-soldier, so he understands there are many veterans here that have been dealing with a lot of attachments, a lot of implants and trauma from being in the wars. And then we have a lot of troops that come back suicidal, and then they are looking for help. And then we find out about this, and we go and check them. And what do we usually find? We find a bunch of reptilians or a bunch of grays or a bunch of demonic on people. And they're putting those suicidal thoughts into the veteran's head, or they just love to harass you into hurting yourself.
Right.
And so once you become aware that your thoughts are not your own, that you're picking up, these intrusive thoughts from an entity, you can take your power back. You tell them to get the hell away from you. You start taking your power back. You start recognizing, you say, my ego is not telling me to hurt myself. That is not my ego. The ego's whole reason for being is self-preservation. It's to make sure that your needs are being met, that you are taken care of, that you feel safe. And if your ego is trying to tell you to hurt yourself, that's not your ego. That is an entity pretending to be your ego, and it is putting thoughts in your head. And we have countless people that come to us with these suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's devastating to find people like this that are struggling. Some people have been dealing with it for most of their lives, even.
Yeah.
What happens after a clearing? Those horrible thoughts go away, especially if they start doing the I ams, like they say. You know, you start reprogramming your mind, you start changing your thought patterns, and then you start to realize that, you know, all of that heaviness, all of that animosity and darkness that people feel, it's not internal darkness that they're feeling. It's the external that's trying to hold you back, to stop you from growing and living and thriving.
I like, once you realize that not every thought that you have is actually yours, like once you get that and you realize that, like something incredible happens. Like when you understand that and you grasp that and you're like, is this mine or isn't it? This doesn't feel like mine. When you stop identifying like with the thoughts that you have, and you stop identifying with them, and you realize that not all of them are yours, those thoughts lose power over you. You gain your power back, and you step into it, and you're like, that's not mine. Mm-hmm. I don't feel good when that thought happens. I wouldn't think that. And you gain your power back. That those thoughts lose power over you when you recognize that not all thoughts are yours. They're coming from somewhere else, something else.
You need to treat it like it's an intruder. Instead of an intrusive thought, think of it like an intruder thought.
Yes.
Where you're like, no, And for those of you, there's a couple people that have joined a bit late. We're just in the middle of doing the clearing now. The guides are coming through right now. We have Carolyn assisting. Thank you, Carolyn. We have Brett also assisting, and we've got Bradley's guides that are here. So if you notice you're getting any goosebumps or start feeling a bit strange while we're having this conversation, that's just our guides coming in and doing a clearing for you. So if you haven't expressed consent in the comments yet, by all means, please do. Or you can say it out loud and just say, I consent to a clearing today, and give thanks. And the guides are happy to do so, because we're getting rid of the riffraff. There's a lot of low vibe stuff hanging around recently with all this war drums being beaten. So we're trying to make sure that we're trying to keep the vibes up and keep the beasties clear.
I did want to share too. I was kind of making some points earlier about stuff we can do to really step into our power. So something like daily practices. So one of them, another one that I do every day, and if it resonates with you guys, that's great. Use it. If not, do something different or find something else that works for you. But one of the things that works for me really well is I just call it a white light flush. And it takes a couple of seconds to do. I like to do 3 flushes because there's power in 3: mind, body, spirit, right? Holy Trinity, like things like that. So I've always felt that there's power in 3. So what I do is I picture a circle of light up above my crown, and I close my eyes and I run that light through my entire system. And as I do that, I picture anything dark, negative, that's not supposed to be there, it gets pushed down to ground, and Gaia receives it very happily.
I like that.
So that's something that you guys can do every day, throughout the day, multiple times. Like I might feel something in my crown, like I'll feel like a psychic attack, like I'll feel like a sharp pain in my crown. I white light flush, I open my heart chakra and I push heart energy out, and it's gone in the snap of a finger every single time that I white light flush like that. If I'm out and about and I feel like someone has got some negative energy going on, I'll be walking through the store and I'll flush with white light 3 times. Seriously, I do. Yeah, I'm like, hey, because it's the way that I see that is I'm replacing anything that got put into my energy system. I'm replacing it with white light. I'm just flushing it out. So that's something that you guys can do and see how it works. Try it out.
I do Merlin's rainbow shower.
And that, yeah, so something may resonate.
Rainbow water just washing over me, like a little shower, you know.
Yeah. So, you know, something may resonate differently, and like put your own spin on it. If you want to take a rainbow shower, do it. Like that's just what I do, and it works really well for me. but there's multiple ways to do that. But ultimately the goal is to replace what isn't supposed to be there with some type of beautiful light.
Jessica says the Walmart cooties be gone. That chart.
That's right.
That's what
Never go to
weird juju places you can go.
Never go to Walmart too late.
Always do your psychic protection before you go into Walmart. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Or any hospital or any other low vibrational place that you might go. Even the gas stations and grocery stores. You know, I was walking through Aldi yesterday, and I was having a chuckle to myself because something fell off the shelf, like right in front of me. Like straight up as I'm walking the aisle, all of a sudden something fell off the shelf right in front of me. And I just looked and I stopped and I was like, Fergus?
Who's there? Who is it?
And I just heard Earthbound in my head. And I was like, tell them that they cannot attach, but if they'd like to follow me home and get crossed over, you may do that. You may not attach, but you may follow me home and I will cross you over later. And sure enough, I heard somebody on my stairs 2 hours after I got home. And I was like, oh yeah, they're still waiting. And then I sat down with Kat last night to work, and I was like, Kat, can you just check really quick? Is there an Earthbound in my house? Yes, actually there is. And I'm
yes,
like,
there is.
That's the one from the grocery store. Can you please cross them over?
Yeah.
So when we're out, we do kind of pick up, you know, hitchhikers. So to speak. That's what I call them, hitchhikers. And they're not there to really cause pain or trouble. They're just, sometimes they just like your energy. They just think, oh, you have nice energy. I'm going to come and live in that energy.
Yep.
And if you're a bright light, like a starseed, they can even confuse you with the light to cross over. They can even think, oh, that's the light. That's the tunnel of light I have to go to. And then it turns out, no, that was just a person that has a very bright light.
Yeah, exactly.
So we do kind of stand out when that happens.
Yep.
So you have to, in a way, it's like walking through a dark forest carrying a lantern. You are more visible.
And it may not even be in a bright light way. It could be in a, you know, maybe you're an alcoholic. Oh, and you know, like, it could be in a negative way. Like they'll see that in your field and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I've been needing a drink since I've died. And then they're going to connect with you.
You're getting thirsty and you're like, oh, I wonder why all of a sudden I got this craving to buy booze. And then sure enough, you find out they're trying to live vicariously through us.
Yeah.
So they goad us into drinking and doing stuff that we wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
And a lot of times this happens with our clients as well, right? Like a client will be like, you know, my uncle passed away and he was a heavy smoker. And then all of a sudden I go to his funeral the other day and now I'm craving a cigarette and I don't understand why. And then sure enough, what do we find? We find the uncle attached and he's trying to get her to smarts. And honestly, sometimes I don't think they even realize what they're doing. It's just it's not like the uncle wants her to pick up smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, no, not at all. I think it's just it's habitual. It's part of something that he enjoyed and he's still seeking that. And I don't think they understand what they're doing to our energy when they're influencing us in that way. I don't think it's intentionally done to like cause havoc or anything like that. I think it can be. But I don't think a larger percent of the time, I don't think that's what the Earthbounds are trying to do to us. You know,
the Earthbounds that bother me the most are the ones that know they shouldn't be where they are and they're still there anyway. Like finding those gross pedos that we found in that little girl's locker room. That shit triggered me big time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I'm like, you know, you do not belong here. You know that you're being gross. So you're going to get the hell out of here right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do. They actually, sometimes when they realize they're dead, they're like, oh, I'm going to have fun with this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And those are the Earthbounds that trigger me the most. I'm like, you're naughty. You're not supposed to be here. Get out. We went into a strip club once. Remember, we cleared that one strip club and we found more Earthbounds in there than the humans, like living people. There were more dead people in the strip club.
Yeah.
Enjoying the show than there were living people.
That is not a lap dance that you signed up for.
So a lot of Earthbounds, if you know what I mean, like when you're out in public, this is not the kind of people you really want attaching to you.
Right.
So even if you were not thinking about beasties, just the Earthbounds alone, you know, you really have to set strong boundaries with, especially if you're a gifted, you know, person. If you're a Reiki healer, for example, being a healer, having that beautiful light, you're going to attract more of them.
Yeah.
They're going to be drawn to you.
Just said the Dancers Club seeing boobies. Going there for the wrong kind of boobies.
When I cleared the strip club, And there were like 100 people in there, and I'm like, "Aw, like, oh, I'm here to help, guys." But they were like, "No, the fun police is here." Like,
Oh gosh, get out of here!
I was like,
Who
"The
let
fun
her
police are
in?
here to help," and they're like, "Get here! We don't want to help. We want to enjoy the show." Like, they were
Yeah,
not happy. In fact, they did. They were like, "Oh, the fun police are here."
yeah,
That was the attitude they have, and I was like, "Well, guess what? You're still leaving. Like, you're not
yeah.
gonna hang out here."
About to get up my lasso.
But the reason I cleared the strip club is because they had 3 overdoses in 1 month.
Yeah,
3 of their dancers died in 1 month, and they were like, "What is going on here?" And we found a very old world demonic that was hanging out in the women's area where they'd get dressed and everything, and it was
yeah,
literally attaching, and one girl would die and it would jump to another one and then go to her into overdosing, and then another one. It was keep doing it over and over again until
yeah,
we grabbed that son of a bitch.
yep,
So this is the kind of thing, though, people don't understand why there's so much tragedy and why there's so much trouble going on in the collective right now. And then we find out entities are creating that trouble. They're putting us against each other, or they're
yeah,
making our lives harder, or they're making it harder to break addictions. I mean, they're just making life more challenging for I mean, no reason really, other than
yeah,
they're feeding off of that pain and suffering that's being created. That's their food.
yeah, yep,
This is why you'll never catch me doing any other career. I'm in this for life. Like, I really feel that. Like, this is
yeah,
why I'm here. I'm not just here to learn and have experiences. I feel like, you know, this is a job that somebody's got to do, and there's not enough people doing it to
yeah.
clean out the riffraff and the low vibe stuff and all the stuck souls. Like, it is one of the most important vocations you can have in this life, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I was wanting to get into hypnosis, and I love hypnosis. I still do, and I'm still kind of entertaining the idea of learning at some point. Just not right now. Like I'm really doing where I feel called to be, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
as I was wanting to step into it, that's when we started learning about SRT. Excuse me, and that was where I really was like all in. I feel like SRT is like the foundation that needs to take place first, and then all of the other modalities. Like you need to make sure that your energy is yours, you are clear, you are sovereign, and then you get hypnosis.
Yeah.
And then you do Akashic records. And then you do shadow work. Like you have to be clear first. You have to like this is to me like step number 1 is being sovereign, being clear, your energy is yours. Then you go do all the other work that needs to be done for yourself, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm a front lines kind of guy, apparently.
Somebody just asked, what does SRT stand for? Spirit Release Therapy.
Yeah.
So this is a form of depossession work. We are doing basically, it's not the same as an exorcism. We're very different to the way the church does it. In fact, we've gone in and realized how much worse an exorcism makes the problem. Exorcisms do not actually fix it in most cases. We end up finding out that they bring in more entities. So I don't like
Yeah.
to use the word exorcism. We're not like calling on the Holy Spirit to come and get the demons. We're literally calling on our soul guides, and our soul guides who are
Yeah.
specially trained to handle these things in the astral, they come in like astral SWAT, don't they? They come in
Yeah.
and they will straight up use nets if they have to capture the entities, and then they bring them back to source. They take them to source so they will never hurt anybody else.
Yeah. Was that old movie? It was like exorcise the demons.
So that is why I don't call myself an exorcist, because I don't feel that exorcists are actually doing what they claim to be doing.
Oh, I mean, that's what we're doing. That name just has such a bad connotation to it. But I mean, that is what's happening is exercising negative energy.
I will throw it out if I'm looking for a reaction out of people.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It depends on the person. Like somebody at Aiden's school will be like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm a writer."
Yeah.
But if somebody comes up to me, they're like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm an exorcist." And they're like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Yeah.
It they don't know what spirit release is. That's the only time I bring it up, and I'm like, yeah, I deal with demons. So what?
Yep.
And I'm not religious, even though I'm wearing a cross right now. I swear I'm not religious, as we covered yesterday. But this is why, there's a lot of truth in religion, in all religions. We find out that spirit really is a thing. I mean, we find out not only about our past lives, but guardian angels are a thing, protectors are a thing. We call them gatekeepers. We just have different names for these things.
That's right. Yeah. I always like to say it like if I'm facilitating or doing a report, I put a lot of times I'll say whatever you want to resonate with, but like call on for help. Whether
Yes.
you want to call them your angels, your gatekeepers, your guardians, spirit guides, it doesn't matter. Just whatever you resonate with. They won't be offended. But you have to ask for help. If you don't ask, you don't get.
Or if you don't ask for a message, you don't get one. Speaking
That's
of
right.
which, does Sam
Yes.
have a message for us today? Anything that Sam would like to say?
Yeah. You want to bring him in?
Are you comfortable with that? We still have
Yeah, we can.
240 people hanging
Yeah.
out with us right now.
Yeah, let's see. Yep.
Right.
Let's do it. Let's bring Sam in.
Sweet. All right. See you soon.
Just give me a second here.
Take your time.
Hello there.
Hi, Sam. How are you?
I am well.
It's
And
wonderful
how's
to speak with you.
everybody on the podcast today?
We are very well. Sam, before we get started, may I please ask, Sam, are you of the highest of light and serving the highest good of all?
Yes.
Are you of the highest of light and serving the highest good of all?
Yes.
Are you of the highest of light and serving the highest good of all?
Yes.
Thank you, Sam. As some may not know, we do that to make sure that you are who you say you are. We're very careful around here, aren't we?
This is very important to do.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for the clearing today from you and the team. We're very grateful for you to get rid of some of the riffraff today.
Yes, we have been very busy.
Did you find a lot to clear this morning?
More than expected.
Yes, we've been noticing the activity has been ramping up the past week.
Not just the activity, but also the amount of people on the podcast.
Yes.
There are a lot of new people here.
Indeed, we're very blessed to be reaching new people. I think Metatron is helping with that.
Yes, and people are waking up and people are seeking more than what they're used to seeking. And by seeking that, they are attracting things like your podcast that will help them.
Can you explain a little bit about how clearings work, even with the recording? Because people who are reviewing this later, they will still also receive a clearing. Yes? How does that work?
Yes. So if you were to view energy, there is what looks like a swirl of energy that we would call a solation tornado. And in that energy that's swirling, it is connected to the energy of this moment in what you would call time. So if anyone new or anyone later on joins this podcast, it sends a ping to this energy that's swirling, and they receive the same clearing even years from now, Earth years, as they would in this moment that they are currently watching live. There is no difference.
Yes. Fascinating. Thank you, Sam. And we're very grateful for all the help.
That is why we are here.
Can I ask, what you thought when you were originally planning on sending your consciousness here to Earth? What was your first initial thought about coming here and doing this work?
I was very excited to learn something new. As some of you may know, Solations are very introverted. We prefer to keep to ourselves, and we mostly work from a place of love, and we send out love vibrations through the cosmos so that we can maintain the balance. All of existence is all about balance. So one of our primary objectives as Solations is to maintain that balance by sending love and keeping the vibration in the cosmos high so that we can balance places like Earth. So I was very excited to be put into a situation that would allow me to see the balance that we are trying to maintain. And until someone steps outside of their comfort zone as an introvert and steps into a place like Earth, it is hard to truly understand the scope of what needs to be done.
It's a big job, isn't it?
Yes. And the time is now.
Earth has been going through a bit of a shadow work period, it seems. And we are releasing a lot from the collective right now. And we're very grateful for your help in doing that. Do you have any suggestions as to how people can work on that on a personal level? Releasing, healing, raising their vibration?
Yes, of course. I would say that love is the answer to all, and love is the key.
Yes,
When
that
you
is
can
what
truly,
I said as well.
yes, when you can truly embody love, it allows a balance to be had. And right now, many human beings they are in a negative balance. Their balance is leading towards the negative side because they are put in these positions of lower vibrations. So by embodying love and accepting love for yourselves, you shift that balance on that scale to not tip one way versus the other.
Yes. What would you say is the most common message that soul guides have for their ward that they're looking after? What would you say is the most the general consensus for most guides? If a guide could say anything to their person, what would the most common thing be?
We would say that it would be to remember who you truly are, and remember that not only are you loved, but you are love. And from a spirit guide's perspective, we see a commonality of human beings not remembering who they are. And this is by design. And it is quite beautiful to see people turn their lights on and stepping into remembering who they are.
Yes.
When that takes place, love falls into place. So, from a spirit guide's perspective, if there's one thing that we would love to help with the most, it is for you to remember who you truly are. You can then step into your true potential, and your spirit can be allowed to grow then. We think this is very important for being on a planet of forgetfulness. The opposite of that would be to remember. Remember who you are.
And thank you for helping us remember. All the advice that you guys give to us and all the protection that you do for us and all of the insight and little breadcrumbs that you help us to find to rediscover ourselves. I just wanted to express my deep gratitude to you and all the other soul guides who are listening today. And to know, when I first found out that humans are one of the only people that have soul guides, you guys don't even have soul guides, do you, Sam? It's kind of an earth thing.
It is an earth thing because it is needed here. As you raise your vibration and you remember who you truly are, there is no need for guidance, as the guidance is already within you. You are the guidance.
I couldn't imagine what this planet would be like if we didn't have help the way that we do. So we are very grateful for everything that you guys all do for us. We don't say that enough, so that's why I wanted to express my deep love and gratitude for all of the guides. And we're very blessed.
We are very grateful to be here and help. It brings us much joy, just as a parent would feel the joy of their child tying their shoes for the first time. The parent thinks, wow, look at my child go. They have learned something new, and it's now something that I don't need to help them with anymore because they now know how to do it themselves.
I love that.
So it brings us great joy to be able to help.
Sometimes we can be very frustrating, I imagine. You guys have a lot of patience with us.
Yes, patience is a must. And from my perspective, it is nearly impossible to be frustrated. because love is unconditional and free will is respected.
Yes.
So you are free to choose the things that you choose. It is not my place to be frustrated for your choices. It is simply my place to be here for you when needed, to guide and to help you remember. I do not look at things as we are teaching you as spirit guides. It is looked at as we are just helping you remember what you already know within yourselves.
Thank you, Sam. Any advice for people who would like to get to know their soul guides better and how to connect with their guides?
Of course, talk to them just as if you would talk to another human. Say hi to them, ask them questions, laugh with them. When you see a funny video that makes you laugh, they would also like to laugh with you. Think of them as the best friend that you've always wanted. Spend time getting to know them. If you are not able to hear them very well, or maybe you are not very in tune with mediumship, as you would call it, there are still ways to communicate with spirit. You can ask for signs, synchronicities, automatic writing, muscle testing to get yes and no. You can use even tools for these yes and no questions,
Yes,
like
pendulums.
a pendulum, yes. There are many, many ways that one can communicate outside of a mouth and ears. You have more than 5 senses and they can be utilized. So
Any
we would
advice
just
on how to
say,
recognize them so that way we don't get an imposter, an entity pretending to be one of our guides? Get familiar with their energy and feel for their vibration.
yes, of course. The more time you spend with them, the more you feel their energy, the more you are open to feeling what is truly their energy, how they make you feel. A spirit guide of the highest of light will never be forceful, will never impede on your free will. They may make a suggestion,
But never a demand.
but never a demand. Correct.
And they would never want you to honor them in a specific way, like sacrifice and all that kind of thing. They would never ask you to do anything like that.
Correct. And any any we will say quote unquote spirit guide that is pushing urgency for something is not of the highest of light, as we just talked about what patience means to a spirit guide. A spirit guide of the highest light will never be urgent. They will never give you a matter of urgency. as that would jeopardize free will.
Yes, they don't feel that we owe them anything. We do not owe our soul guides. That it is an honor for them to do this work.
Correct. There is nothing that a spirit guide of the highest of light would tell you that you need to go do this right now. You need to tell this person something right now. The spirit guides of the highest of light do not operate that way. That is jeopardizing free will by telling them that they need to do something.
Thank you for that, Sam.
So, once you get to know your spirit team, you will recognize that a spirit guide of the highest of light will be patient, they will be kind, they will be loving, they will be understanding, and may even crack a joke every now and again.
They have very good senses of humor, yes. Most of them do, anyway.
And spirit guides are just there waiting for you to communicate with them. They are there to help. They are there for you. And they would love the opportunity to get to know you more as you get to know them more.
And they don't read your mind, right? They don't just get, that would be intrusive to do so. So they expect you
Correct.
to speak to them aloud, or you can sit down and use telepathy during meditation to connect with your team. But they don't just read your mind as you're going about your day.
We do not have time for this.
Yeah, it's hard to get a word in there when we're going about our day.
We kind of think of it like we will get a energetic ping when we are being spoken to, whether we are called by name or whether our energy gets a ping from
An intention.
an intention. Yes, thank you. Then we know that you are trying to communicate with us, and then we will use telepathy to communicate with you or put thoughts or images into your mind for communication.
But what if you don't feel anything? We have one person saying that they feel no signs, no symptom, no sign from their guides. So is it possible an imposter has pushed them out when that happens?
Yes, this is very possible. There are multiple reasons why one may not feel. There could be energetic blocks that is not allowing their energy to flow properly through their system. Therefore, one would not feel energy or anything energetic as the energy is not flowing. So it could be an imposter that is blocking that. It could be a block within their chakra system that is not allowing the energy to flow.
Or even a block in their mindset.
Yes. It could even be linked to not being properly grounded.
Interesting. Thank you for that, Sam.
Yes.
Any other message today? You know, there's been a lot of struggle going on in the collective today. And you guys, as Zach has told me on many occasions, you can kind of see a little bit further down the road, right? You get a kind of an idea as to where we're headed. Any words of encouragement?
Yes, we would say that we would love for you to remember that you create your reality through intention and through manifestation. Where your intention goes, energy flows. So, with that being said, think about the timeline that you want to be on. If you want a timeline of love and light, then you need to put your intention there. We are seeing that there are many potentials for timelines constantly through the negative aspects of life on Earth, where the people that pull the puppet strings of Earth try to anchor things into a lower timeline by division and negation, such as these files that people are putting a lot of energy into. If you put your energy into things of this sort, you stay anchored in a timeline that is not going to be of the highest of light.
So focus on the solutions rather than the problems.
Correct. It is not a matter of spiritual bypassing to focus on what you want in life. If you want to be in a positive timeline, then you have to look at the other negative timelines as they do not exist, because that is not part of your reality.
Yes, I like that.
So focus on the reality that you wish to be in so that you can manifest that timeline for yourself and you can raise your vibration.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Sam. Thank you for that reminder to use the law of attraction wisely.
Yes.
I've really enjoyed this conversation today, Sam. It was really good to speak with you.
It is an honor to speak with you and the collective today.
Thank you, Sam. And I look forward to spending some more time chasing beasties with you later.
Yes, looking forward to this too.
Thank you again for this chat today, and you can call back the vessel. Thank you, Sam. We'll see you again soon.
You are very welcome. Thank you for having me.
See you again. Bye-bye, Sam.
We go with love.
Hello. Welcome back.
Thanks.
You still do it. You're still checking every time.
I don't even notice that I do, but it's like
check. Sam used to make drool. It only happened like 2 sessions.
Yeah. Yes. I still get like almost like self-conscious. Like it's something that I had to even relinquish to like, I went through this phase of trying to go into trance and I'm like, you got to swallow, bud. Like, cause I'm having this self-conscious thing about my vessel, you know?
Sam drooling while Sam was in the body. And he's like, Sam, you got to stop doing it. And he's completely stopped it. But Bradley still, the first thing he does when he comes back in the body is checking to make sure he wasn't drooling.
Yeah.
Is it weird to kind of
my beard?
My
beard was really long then. If you remember, my beard was long. So like I would go to wipe and it was just like in it. And I'm like, dude, Sam, you got to swallow, man. This needs to.
But is it weird to kind of step out of your body and to let somebody else into the driver's seat?
Yes.
It took some getting used to, I imagine.
That's what took me a while to do trance, to be honest. I am a control freak, for lack of better words, but like not people and things and stuff, but like me, like for me, like my thoughts, my feelings, my emotions, like that's mine. So I'm very like I am a control freak when it comes to like myself, like what I give others and who I am as a person. Like I want to be in control of that. Like this is my body, my vessel. So I'm a control freak about that. So relinquishing that, it took a bit. It did. It took me a bit to like get to the point of relinquishing that. And that's where
It's
Sam
so
was
weird.
just
Like your
like,
consciousness is kind of slipping away when you go into trance, because that's how it feels when I go
yeah,
into a trance. So
yeah,
I wasn't channeling when I did it. I was just because I was kind of listening to the drums and going into it. But I felt my consciousness slipping away.
that's what it is. That's how it first started out for me, because I first started trance with with Harthonos, my Viking guide, and that's what I started feeling like him coming in, and it's always from my left. Like he comes in, and like I start to just get pushed out, and then like there was a handful of times that like I was here, like I was aware and coherent, like I could hear me talking, like I could hear my voice,
Third person. I heard myself
but
snoring and I was like, whose annoying
yeah,
snoring is that? And
yeah,
it was me in trance.
yeah, and that happened like the first couple of times was like very awkward to like to be in that kind of like hearing my vessel speaking, but like also I could at the same time I could feel Sam combing through my mind for words.
Like going through the
And
brain
it
Rolodex looking for certain things.
yeah, and I could feel it, and then I like when the words would come, it was like I could feel them flowing out of my throat chakra, like, it was just super weird, in the beginning, and then I wasn't really a fan of how that felt and stuff, and I was like, "Can you just push me completely out? Like, let me go to sleep, like,
Yeah,
let me
because
just."
for the record, some trance mediums go in like 25% and they remember bits
Yeah,
and pieces. Some are 100% under, like Adriana usually is. She's most
yeah,
of the time she's out. She's not paying attention. She's
yeah,
same with
and that
Angelica. Angelica goes and takes a nap basically when Snyder
yeah.
comes in.
And that's really what I wanted for myself too, just so that like I think to just to know and trust that like Sam is there so that I don't like I just wanted my ego, like me, myself, my ego, my thoughts, my everything. Like I just wanted it to be out of the way so that you're truly getting Sam. Like that's Sam.
Yes.
So I just wanted to be completely removed. Well, now that that's happened for a while, like obviously now I trust and I know and everything's good. So now I'm working on so okay, so like when I have student sessions like for doing spirit release therapy, what we're teaching and everything, when I have student sessions, I don't do full trance. Like I only do that with a couple people like you and Kat and a couple other people that I'll do full trance with. And so when I do student sessions, I do 50-50. I still bring Sam into the vessel, but when I do that, I like just now I told him, "All right, Sam, the vessel is yours 100%." I give him a percentage. And so when I'm doing a student session, I tell them 50-50. And when that 50-50 happens, sometimes you're speaking to Sam like he's channeling through me, but I'm still very present and I can actually intervene and stop the flow of him talking and then I can take over. So I've kind of really started to like this 50-50 scenario because I feel like it feels like a team. I feel like it's me and Sam like helping and doing. So I've really liked that that 50-50 aspect of doing trance has been kind of a different scenario because it's mainly me talking, but then every now and again Sam will just like he just comes through, you know.
Somebody just said, what is the difference between trance and channeling? I think that trance is a deeper form of channeling.
Yeah, trance to me
You
is
channel
like
all the
you
time.
are
You don't realize you're channeling. People channel all the time from their guides and
yes,
information. I mean, it's getting a download is a form of channeling, but trance channeling is when you allow the soul guide to come in into the driver's seat. You slip over to the passenger seat. Your
yeah,
vehicle is, your body, and they
yeah,
can kind of drive if they need to.
yeah. So like to me, like when you're channeling, you're still in control. You can stop that at any given time. Your free will is intact. You're not giving up your free will. To do trance, I'm relinquishing that. Like Sam doesn't have to leave the
Trust. You had to
vessel.
build that trust
It's
with
that
Sam.
trust.
They
It's
can keep the
100%.
vessel if they really
Yeah.
want to. They could keep it and not let you back into the driver's seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how
Absolutely.
body snatching happens. We talk about body snatching and how many politicians and other people get body snatched. They get pushed out of their own
Yeah.
body, which is a
Yeah.
scary thought, but it happens.
It does. Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
happens
so
through relinquishing control to a dark entity who tricked you into relinquishing that control. And that is why we are so careful about imposters.
yeah. Yeah. Yep, and that was a big one for me, is like I wanted to make sure that everyone was getting the true Sam, and so it took time to just build that relationship and, you know, to know and trust and everything else, and so
Yep.
yep. I enjoy it. It's fun.
It's a wild ride, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It truly is. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this conversation today. We've been chatting a little over 2 hours, and
Oh, wow.
it went so quickly. I know, I didn't even
Yeah.
realize
I
that.
always love our hangouts.
I know, always fun.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, with all of these, somebody who, let's just say they're on the fence about receiving spirit release, any suggestions, any advice for people? How much did it change your life in that regard?
Drastically. I mean, in all honesty, like, so for me, like, it wasn't the entity side of things for me. Like, I didn't feel, you know, like influenced. I wasn't hearing voices. Like, it wasn't that in depth for me. I think I had like a level 1 and an earthbound or something attached, you know, when I had my first clearing ever.
You're naturally pretty high vibe anyway, Bradley, and your high vibration is a form of protection. Entities
It is
not attached to you if you're in a high vibration.
It is 100%. That is, it's your biggest protection asset, deterrent asset for sure, because the higher vibration you're is, the less, you know, that they can attach. For
and the
me,
better you know yourself, so you know your thoughts, and when they're not your
correct.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, like the clearing from my perspective, it was more about like the past life resonances, things that I was carrying around, like old wounds and stuff like that. Like I had an arrow in one of my eyes, and I've always had, like, this eye has always been droopy. Like it's always, when I smile, you can see it, you know, and I've had shoulder problems and stuff. And sure enough, there was an axe in my back. Like I had an axe in my back in the astral, you know,
axe, I remember
right where I have a scar. Like I'd fallen off. When I used to climb cell towers, I did cell tower work for a long time. I fell on a metal box. I have a scar where that axe was, like, in this physical life, you know? So for me, it was like, it wasn't necessarily like I have entities that I need to get rid of. For me, it was like, I just needed that fresh start. I just needed that validation of like, why do I feel these things? Where has all this been coming from? And that changed me. That gave me that foundation to stand on and like move forward, to then really dive more into like my shadow aspects of myself. Like it just opened the door for a deeper healing that I was able to do myself, because like the blinders, like I had blinders on and they were removed and I could see more clearly, you know?
Well, I could talk about this all day, Bradley, but I know you got some stuff you have to do today.
Yeah. Yep. I've got to go get with it.
With you and having these
always a blast. Always a blast. Thank you for everyone listening and watching. It means the world.
Thank you for the clearing for everyone today. Anybody feeling better after that clearing that you received from the guides? Anybody feel any tingles or feel any bit lighter? We always love to hear how you guys are feeling after our guides come in and do it.
Absolutely.
They don't remove all the implants and everything when they come in. They don't do like a 30-point clearing like we do.
Yeah.
They just remove the entities.
Sure.
But even just that really does kind of shift the whole, you know, vibe of the community when we do this all the time.
Yeah, it really does. That's what
back pain is gone. That's good. Wonderful.
Oh, I love that. That means the world.
Yes, we're so glad to hear that. Awesome.
Oh.
Well, I look forward to seeing you later on. We've got some we've got some chasing we're gonna do today. So thank you again, brother, for this conversation today. And thank you to everybody who's joined us for this chat. If you missed the conversation today, you can go back and watch the recording. About 45 minutes ago is when we did the clearing. So if you want to kind of fast forward through the podcast straight to the clearing, that was about an hour and 15 minutes in, give or take. So, and keep in mind, watching the recording, you'll still get a clearing. Even if you missed it live, it will still work. So as Sam explained how it worked. So you can go back and hear how it works.
Oh, did he? Good.
Yes, I asked him to. So that way people understand a little bit more
Awesome.
about how watching the recording
Awesome.
will still be effective.
Lovely.
Awesome. Lots of love, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Bye,
and
everyone.
I'll see you on tomorrow for the solo chat. Mwah. Bye, everyone.
See y'all.